Welcome to this video. I'm Dr. Ojo. So this video was based on some of the questions we got about, transitioning from F2 to F1 visa. And I have someone who has some first-hand experience when it comes to, changing from this visa status. So welcome, Christiana.
Thank you.
And so let's just get into it. So how did you change? You were already in the United States on F2 visa. You initially came on an F2 visa, and when you got your admission and funding, by the way, we talked about her story on how she, changed from STEM to non-STEM, and, even with a low GPA, how she did all that. We talked about it here on the screen. I'm going to display the link on the screen. So if you want to view that, please do. So let's talk about how you change from F2 to F1.
Changing from F2 to F1 can be done within the US.
Right.
I came on an F2 visa, and when I got admission, I was told that I got admission and I got funding.
Right.
Right. So I was told that I couldn't grab the funding. I couldn't, use that funded opportunity because I was on F2, because F2 visa holders cannot work in the US. So you are only dependent on your spouse, which is who is on the F1 visa. So I needed to get my F1 visa and then be able to, grab this assistantship offer.
Right.
So I approached the immigration officer in my school then, who advised me on how to go about it, She told me that I could change in the US, but it's going to take at least 12 months.
Right.
Right.
So it takes a long time if you want to do it in the US.
Yeah, I was told 12 to 18 months. So, I was not ready to wait that long before I actually, start
your studies.
Yeah, because she even said I could start, but I can't fund my studies, right? I needed the assistantship.
Yeah, I think there were two things. You won't be able to enroll fully. I think you will just be taking like 3 or 6 credits.
Yes, I won't be able to enroll fully, and
you won't be able to get the funding.
Yeah, and ultimately it will elongate my program. Instead of me finishing within 2 years, I'll have to, it's going to extend to maybe 2.5, 3 years, even more sometimes.
Right.
So I needed to just go grab the F1 visa, and she advised me to go to Nigeria. Then I was hearing stories about rejection here and there. You go for visa interviews and you get, sorry, and all those
people will
stuff.
try to scare you, which is, I mean, the fear is real as well. So I wouldn't want to downplay the fear.
No, people are really, really getting rejections, no doubt. But that also brought the fear in me.
Right.
It's kind of created a fear in me as well, it's real. So then I told her that I told the immigration officer now that I would like to go to Mexico.
Right.
Because Mexico is close by.
It's close, like you can go to the embassy and...
and, just get this done. And she advised me not to do that. She said the reason being that, Mexico didn't offer me my F2 visa, right? And since they didn't offer me the F2 visa, they have the right to revoke it.
Oh, that was what she said?
Yes, that they have the right to, revoke it and send me back to Nigeria, because it's going to sound like I'm running away from my own country.
Right.
And I was like, why would it? It's like, that's just it. Like, you have to go back to where you obtained the F2 visa, your home country.
Which is your home country.
Yes. So even if you are denied the F1 visa, you can still be on your F2 visa. Then my F2 visa was still 100% valid, like a year plus. So I still have a year plus on my F2 visa. So I was like, okay, that makes a lot of sense. Even if I'm being rejected and not granted the F1, I can still come back on my F2 visa and change within the US, as she advised that I could still change within the US. It's just gonna take time. If you are
rejected at home.
Yes, it's just gonna take time, and my program will be elongated, which is fine than for me to go to Mexico and get rejected.
Right.
And then sent back
to Nigeria.
My own country, to Nigeria.
You now have only one choice.
I know. So I did just that.
So you went back home.
I went back home to Nigeria
to
and
appear for an interview. How did the interview go?
Oh, the interview was really smooth because you were still a student.
Right.
Your F1 is still very much valid.
Right.
So there was not much.
That reflected in the questions they asked?
Yes, absolutely. They asked me, most of the questions they asked me was about my dependent, F1 spouse. The counselor asked me if my husband is still a student and what program he's in, how many years does he have left,
Was that for your F1 visa or for your F2 visa?
Both.
So they are, okay.
Both, both. They want to know if your dependent is still, holding on to the F1 visa and still valid. And then they asked so many questions, and you also gave me your passport and visa page.
Right.
Just, to make sure that everything is, still in order. And I presented,
I guess they are trying to find out if your spouse hasn't violated any of their visa rules.
Yes.